Well, hello, beautiful souls. This is Malik from Malik's Mystical Magic and Intuitive Consultations. I am here again today to finish the zodiac readings. Yesterday, March 17th, I did upload the readings for Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Leo. So my goal is to get through all 12 zodiacs over the next day. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. I've already cleansed the air, meditated on the cards, and we're going to see the next zodiac that Most High wants that zodiac to know. What is it that Spirit wants you to know? Okay, so Spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, ancient wisdom, Most High, and ascendant masters, and our ancient DNA and universal energies. What zodiac are we reading for next? What does Spirit have to say? What does Spirit want this zodiac to know? What zodiac is next, Spirit? Okay, we got Gemini. Okay, Gemini is up, so let's get into it. Okay, so first we're going to pull What's the Tea to get 3 cards to kind of get an idea of what this reading is going to be about. I am going to pull a 7-card pull, clarify whatever needs to be clarified using my Modern Witch Tarot deck. Okay, then I will wrap it up with a little numerology using my Sacred Forest Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. Okay, I have over 50 plus tarot decks. But my ones that mean the most to me is the Divine Feminine, Deviant Moon, Hoodoo, Tarot of the Orisha, Egyptian Tarot, Anubis Oracle, Black Moon Astrology, Kemet Tarot. Okay. So I literally run with a lot of meaningful decks. Okay. But we're going to keep it simple. And this is what we are. Okay, so right now we are pulling on Gemini. So I'm just going to drop a little astro update because I just completed the new moon in Taurus, which you can find in a live section on my YouTube page. And it's all been time stamped. So you might want to go and look at that. But for Gemini, what this new moon in Taurus that I discussed, and this could be looked at as a Gemini sun, moon, rising, okay? And so this new moon in Taurus, Gemini, is really grounding you in a way, okay? That kind of I would say you may not always be comfortable with, all right? So Gemini used to movement and ideas as well as communication, but when we're dealing with this Taurus energy, that is saying slow down, Gemini, and get real about what's actually stable in your life right now. So this is hitting your values, your self-worth, and what you're choosing to invest your time and energy in, Gemini. So not everything needs your attention and not everything deserves access to you. So as we get into this reading, I do want you to kind of keep in mind, Gemini, that this isn't about what sounds good or looks good. This is about what actually is solid and sustainable for you moving forward, okay? So let's see what's going on, starting with what's the tea. All right, so Gemini, 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 all right? Let's see what the tea is for you, Gemini. 3 cards is all I'm pulling. Spirit, what is the tea for Gemini? These cards fly all over the place. Okay, what's the tea for Gemini? Gratitude. Okay. Let's see. What's the tea, Spirit, for Gemini? What is the tea for Gemini? 3 cards. And for those who don't know, I'm a life path 7, so Saturn is in my 9th house. That's 2 cards. So this photo proof, getting evidence, inside scoop, a closer look, nosy, up in your business. I'm going to keep these to the side, okay, just in case. That could be a side note for you. All right, come on. Let's see, Gemini. Okay, giving money. So that's the first one. I want to cut first. I mean, Gemini, you ready to talk? Planet of communication. Mercury just stepped into Gemini too, so it's going to be a lot of talking, thinking, and all that. Okay, so what's the second one? Travel. Okay, so I'm going to show you these cards first. And then bad habits. Okay, bottom of the deck here is hooked. Ooh. Okay, so we got what fell out is photo proof, getting evidence, inside scoop, someone who's taking a closer look all up in your business. Okay, so these cards fell out. All right, okay, so I'm just going to keep them out because they could definitely have a side message for someone. So the first card is giving money. Okay, this is what Spirit wants you to know. Then we have travel. Okay, and then we got some bad habits. So are you overspending on travel? I don't know, but this drugs, addiction, and toxicities. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is two stories. Okay, now we're looking at, I will say, with the right off the bat, you know, we got giving money, travel, bad habits. Okay, with hooked at the bottom of the deck. Hooked. And also behind that is impersonator. So are you performative? Are you trying to you know, use money? You got a problem with money? You know, are you impersonating? Are you fronting for the book? Are you fronting for external validation? What's to be you, acts like you, dresses like you? Somebody is impersonating you. Okay, maybe. And are you impersonating someone? And then you hooked. So when we got the bad habits and hooked, pretty interesting here. Bad habits and hooked. Okay. So, for some of you, this is very direct, okay? You're spending some money on something or someone tied to travel, movement, or just getting away. And it's becoming a habit, okay? And Spirit is calling it what it is. So, it's not just a one-time thing. It's about something that has become toxic or draining if it keeps going. Now, for others, this isn't just about money. It's about you overgiving your energy, okay? Gemini, you could be investing your time, your attention, your communication into a situation that's not grounded. And if it's pulling you into a cycle that is not healthy for you, you definitely want to try to break that cycle. And with hooked being here, okay, hooked right here, there is something that's hard to detach from. Now, whether it's a person, a lifestyle, or even a mindset, you are aware of it, but there's still a pull there. Now, let's not ignore the flew out, you know, cards here, which is the photo proof and the inside scoop, okay? Because that's getting evidence. Somebody all up in your business. So either you're watching someone clearly and closely, or someone is watching you. So there is some curiosity here, but also a need to kind of see the truth for what it is. So this could even be you starting to realize, okay, you know, I need to look deeper at what I'm doing, you know, what I'm spending, and who I'm dealing with that's draining the pocketbook, okay? And why you keep going back to it, okay? So let's get deeper and see what the tarot has to say about this tea that we just dropped. All right, so, okay. Then got wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay, so somebody ain't being who they say they are. Let's get into it. All right, so Spirit, tap into the energy of Gemini. What is it that Gemini needs to know about this? What's the T energy? Tap into the energy of Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising. And what's the T? I don't do reversals on the Modern Witch Tarot deck. I don't need to. But some tarot decks require, you can read however you want to read. As long as you get the message right, that's all that matters. Gemini. Okay, Gemini. What is it that Gemini needs to know at this time, Spirit, as it relates to what's the T energy? Okay. First card out is King of Wands. Sorry. King of Wands. 8 of Pentacles. 5 of Cups. Page of Wands. 10 of Cups. And King of Cups. Overall energy is Page of Cups. And the bottom of the deck here is 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, Temperance, and the Wheel of Fortune with the Lovers and Justice. Oh, wow. Okay. So something big is changing for you, Gemini. Okay, so let's see here. Let me interpret the base and then we'll clarify where needed. All right. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is not going to be for every Gemini. All right. So off the bat with the King of Wands here. Okay. With the King of Wands here, this tells me you're coming out as the King of Wands with the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. With the 8 of Pentacles here. This is someone who is very focused, very driven, very intentional right now. Okay. So you are in a space where you're trying to build something, work on something, perfect something. And this could be a career, a craft, or even how you show up in a situation. Okay. But then we have the 5 of Cups. All right. So there's some level of disappointment here. Something didn't go, the way you expected, or there's something that you're still emotionally tied to that didn't fully work out, okay? But here's where it shifts. We got the Page of Wands here, okay? And the 10 of Cups. Page of Wands and the 10 of Cups. So this tells me there is a new beginning trying to come in. There is a spark, there's a message, an opportunity, or even a new direction that can actually lead to some emotional fulfillment. But it's going to require you to be open to it, And then we have the King of Cups. Okay. And this here is saying we got 2 kings on the board, King of Wands, King of Cups. Okay. So this is emotional maturity and action. Okay. Head and heart needing to come into alignment. So some of you could be dealing with 2 different energies or people, but for many of you, this is about balancing how you feel with what you do. Okay. Because the King of Wands takes actions, King of Cups, feel it. All right. Okay, now the overall energy which ties to this King of Wands is the Page of Cups. And that right there is emotional messages, intuition, vulnerability. So something being offered or something being felt on a deeper level, okay? And then at the bottom of the deck, because I read from the top and the bottom of the deck, we have Four of Pentacles, okay? Which is, and the Three of Wands, Temperance, Wheel of Fortune, Lovers, okay, and Justice. So what I'm seeing here with the Four of Pentacles and all of that, okay, this is big, Gemini, because you've been holding back, waiting for something to shift or kind of come in, all right, and just trying to find balance, all right. And this is tied to a decision in love, definitely. Or alignment, I'd say. And this is your major arcana, Gemini, okay? And ultimately, justice. So things being made right, okay? Truth being revealed, or you needing to make a fair and honest decision. And in addition to that, I would say, you know, the wheel is turning, okay? And the universe is stepping in with that. So this is your turning point, okay? So this is tied to a decision, definitely. You know, I would say an honest decision at that. Okay, you're needing to make an honest decision. So when I go back and I look at, you know, the cards that I brought out with the T, and I'm sorry, you guys, I'm a real reader. I'm not one of those that just rush through things because I like understanding and clarity. I'm a Libra Sun, Virgo moon, and a Libra rising. So I like detail, organization, balance, harmony, all of that. But nonetheless, I feel that tying this to what's the T, and this goes right back to what we saw earlier. Okay, giving money, travel, bad habits, being hooked. Okay, and some of you are being called to break a cycle, something that you've been investing in, whether it's time, energy, money, or emotion, that's being reevaluated right now. Okay, so you can't move into this Ten of Cups energy here if you're still tied to something that's draining you. All right, so let's clarify this, because Gemini, there's a lot going on here and I want you to see exactly what this shift is about. All right, so starting with the King of Wands. Why is the King of Wands here, Spirit? What? Okay, clarify the King of Wands for Gemini. King of Wands. Why is that here? Uh-oh. That came out. Knight of Wands. Okay, that just wouldn't go back in. All right, two more, Spirit. Clarify the King of Wands. All right, you see how that fell out? Queen of Swords. Okay. Gemini, that's you right there, baby. One more, Spirit, for the King of Wands. Okay, so that's Six of Wands. So the King of Wands clarified by the Knight of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the Six of Wands. Okay, so what this is telling me, King of Wands clarified by Knight of Wands, Queen of Swords, and Six of Swords. Okay, so first off, you know, this is someone very confident, very action driven, very passionate. But after the clarifiers hit the table with the Knight of Wands, this is not always stable energy. It's somebody who's here for a fun time, not a long time. Knight of Wands, okay? And this is not always something I would say, you know, is fun long term. This can be someone who comes in hot, says a lot, you know, and then rolls out just as fast as they came in. The consistency can be questionable, is what I'm really trying to say. Now, where it gets real is the Queen of Swords, you know, and this is telling me that, you know, you're clear, direct, you're not playing games, you're seeing things for exactly what they are, Gemini. So what this is telling me, you're dealing with or have dealt with someone who moves off passion and impulse, but you're in a space now where you're kind of cutting through that, and you're not just gonna go off words or attraction no more, Gemini. You're using your discernment. And then we got the Six of Wands, with that, right? And that Six of Wands basically is attention here, recognition. Someone wants to be seen, acknowledged, even validated. And so for some of you, this is a person who likes attention, likes to show up strong, likes to win, but may not always follow through, in a grounded way. But for others, this is you stepping into your power. So I would say, Gemini, this is you saying that you see exactly what this is and you're choosing how you respond. Not only that, that's what's going to bring the Six of Wands, that victory, that recognition, that confidence in yourself. So you're not confused, you're just aware. Okay. Now let's keep going because I want to clarify this Eight of Pentacles here and get a little more information on that. All right, Spirit. Why is this Eight of Pentacles here for Gemini? Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Eight of Pentacles, Spirit. Clarify Eight of Pentacles for Gemini. Eight of Pentacles is clarified by Ace of Wands, Eight of Swords, and the Devil. Bottom of the deck is the Tower. Okay. Okay, so with the Eight of Pentacles being clarified by the Ace of Wands, Eight of Swords, and the Devil. Eight of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and the Devil. Okay, so, baby, this is Ace of Wands, Eight of Swords, and the Devil with the Tower at the bottom of the deck. You're working on something, you're focused. You're putting energy into something, but look at what it's tied to. The Ace of Wands, there's passion here, a desire, strong desire, a spark, something that excites you, pulls you in. This could be a person, a situation, or even a new opportunity that kind of feels good in the moment, okay, Gemini? But then we hit with the Eight of Swords right here, okay? Now you're in your head, overthinking, feeling stuck, feeling like you can't move the way you want to, even though technically, okay, you can. And then the Devil here, right here is saying that attachment, temptation, toxic cycles, something that feels good but isn't necessarily good for you, Gemini. So, Gemini, this is you kind of putting effort into something that has a strong pull on you, but at the same time, it's mentally trapping you and keeping you tied to a pattern, okay? And Spirit is not ignoring this because the Tower at the bottom of the deck, that means that this can't continue the way it's been going, okay? Something is going to shake. Some is going to be revealed. Something is going to break down so that you can see it for what it really is. Okay, this goes right back to the T. Giving money, travel, bad habits, being hooked. So some of you already kind of know what this is. You feel it, So you're investing in something that's exciting, but it's also draining you and keeping you stuck or pulling you into a cycle that you need to break. All right, so let's keep going and clarify this Five of Cups here. All right, Spirit, clarify Five of Cups for Gemini, please. Thank you. And for those of you who would like to book a reading, astrology reading, tarot reading, you can do so. Look in the comment section, go to my website, and go from there. Five of Cups, Spirit, why is that here for Gemini? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and welcome to the Soul Tribe. Five of Cups. Let's see. Five of Cups is clarified by Two of Swords, the World, and the Tower. See, I knew the Tower was coming. Okay. Bottom of the deck is Lovers. So I want to clarify this Tower. Spirit, what is this Tower? Okay. What is this Tower? Clarify the Tower. Okay, the Tower is clarified by the Hierophant, Knight of Cups, and Three of Swords. Oh, wow. Okay, well, it's a lot here to unpack, so let's just get with the cards. Okay, so we had Five of Cups on the table, okay? And Two of Swords, okay? The World. And the bottom of the deck, Tower, came out. So, this is disappointment. This is disappointment. Emotional loss, okay? It didn't just happen out of nowhere. There was something that you were avoiding seeing with the Two of Swords, okay? A decision, a truth, something that you didn't want to fully face. You see, she got a blindfold on, right? But with the World being here, something has already kind of come full circle. So a cycle has completed, whether you wanted it or not. And then here comes the Tower, okay? And the Tower, you know, coming out here is definitely a destruction. This is a confirmation. This is not just a small shift, Gemini. This is something that is being forced to change because it's no longer in alignment, okay? Now, when I clarify the Tower to find out, you know, what's the energy around that breakdown, okay, we got the Hierophant, Knight of Cups, and the Three of Swords, okay, clarifying the Tower. So this tells me that we're talking about a relationship, a commitment, or something that has structure to it, or at least the idea of something stable. The Knight of Cups here, and this is the Hierophant, that's what I structured, okay? Commitment, structured something here, a relationship. And then the Knight of Cups, this is love, emotions, offers, someone coming in with feelings, saying the right things, expressing themselves, right? But the outcome is tied to this Three of Swords. This is heartbreak, disappointment, and emotional pain. So, Gemini, this is something that you may have looked, you know, at like it had potential for some real, you know, but underneath that, there has been hurt, inconsistency, or an emotional letdown for you, Gemini. All right. And Spirit is not letting this continue quietly, not at all. Tower, okay? That Tower is here to kind of break the illusion of what you thought this was versus what it actually is, all right? So when we look at the Lovers, you know, at the bottom of the deck, when I was looking at this here, I can't negate that. When I look at the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, that kind of tells me that this is a decision, a real one. You know, it's not based on feelings alone, but based on truth, alignment, and what's actually healing for you. Because whatever this is, it's already kind of shown you enough. So I would say, Gemini, the question you might want to ask is, are you going to keep, I would say, avoiding this, you know, now that you are aware of it, are you going to keep avoiding it? Or are you going to accept what's being revealed? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this Page of Wands here and see what it's bringing in. Okay, Spirit, tap into the Page of Wands for Gemini. What is this? Page of Wands. Page of Wands. Oh, yeah, there we go. Page of Wands is clarified by Nine of Swords, Seven of Wands, and a Star. Okay. Bottom of the deck, Judgment. Whew. Okay, so we're clarifying the Page of Wands. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I just went in my Snapchat and I didn't know I activated it, and I ain't been on Snapchat in 5 years. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands being clarified by the Nine of Swords, Okay. Seven of Wands. Okay. And the Star. So what this is the Page of Wands is what we're clarifying. Okay. This is a new beginning. This spark, this message, this opportunity. It's not coming in easy. You got the Nine of Swords, which is clarifying why this is here. And this is new beginning. But you got anxiety, overthinking, and stress tied to it. So something is keeping you up mentally. You're either thinking about this, and I would say in a way that's keeping you up at night, maybe even questioning yourself or questioning the situation, but it's heavy on your mind a lot. And then we got the Seven of Wands. So now you're guarded, defensive, you're standing your ground, protecting your energy, and you're not as open as you may have been before. And then we got the Star. So even through the stress, even through the walls that you've kind of put up, there's that's healing that's still there. There's still hope. There's still something trying to align for you in a better way, Gemini. Okay. So this Page of Wands is not just a happenstance new start. This is something that comes after pressure, after stress. Okay. After you've had, to learn how to stand up for yourself, okay? And with the Judgment being at the bottom of the deck here, okay, with the Judgment being at the bottom of the deck here, this is you being called to rise. This is a wake-up call. This is you being called to rise above what you've been dealing with, to make a final decision, to answer the call for something higher, something better. So this is new energy that's trying to come in, and it's asking you, are you healed enough to receive it, Gemini? All right. Are you clear enough to choose differently this time? Because you can't keep carrying that Nine of Swords energy. All right. You cannot keep carrying that. That's not good for you. Okay. Those old patterns. You can't keep carrying that into something that's kind of meant to be your star moment. All right. So I would say this really makes sense with what we've pulled already, because you definitely been dealing with something intense, but now there's an opening, and the question is kind of whether you're going to protect your peace and allow yourself to heal or fall back into what you already know isn't working, okay? So let's go ahead and clarify this Ten of Cups here. Okay, Spirit, clarify the Ten of Cups for Gemini. Ten of Cups for Gemini. Okay. Okay, so Ten of Cups is clarified by Ten of Cups is clarified by Two of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and Page of Swords. Okay, Gemini, bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords. And the High Priestess, Gemini. Okay, Gemini and Mercury. Mercury just stepped into Gemini too, or it's about to, if it hasn't already. That's going to be interesting. Gemini, Uranus is in Gemini as well. So, Ten of Cups is what we're clarifying. And that is being clarified by Two of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and Page of Swords. Okay, so what this is telling me, Gemini, because we're clarifying the Ten of Cups here, okay? We're clarifying that. Yeah, I'm trying to get creative here. Okay. So we're clarifying that. All right. So what I see here is with the High Priestess, I saw her. I feel her. Ten of Swords. Oh, Ten of Swords, High Priestess. Okay. I'm making sure I know what the hell I'm finna say. Okay. So now that I know that, okay, this emotional fulfillment, this happiness, Okay. This everything is good type of energy is not as stable as it looks right now. All right. So, Gemini, we clarified that with the Two of Pentacles, which tells me that something is being juggled. There is some imbalance. Someone is trying to manage two things, two energies, two priorities, and it's creating some instability. Okay, and then comes the Ace of Swords, the truth, clarity, a realization, a breakthrough of some sort. And then with the Page of Swords, this is communication, observation, watching, lurking, gathering information. Somebody is either speaking up, finding something out, or paying very close attention. So, Gemini, the happiness that you thought was there, or the idea of what this could have been, is being cut through with truth. So, now I want to lean into these two cards right here, really. The Ten of Swords and the High Priestess. This tells me that you already know, Gemini. That's the part, okay? The High Priestess saying your intuition has been telling you something this whole time. You felt it. You picked up on it. You sensed it. Okay, but the Ten of Swords is the reality of it. You know, it's an ending, a painful one, yeah, definitely, but also a necessary one. So this is something kind of reaching its limit. There's no more pretending here, okay? And so when I go back into the astrology for you, there's no avoiding communication, truth, or mental clarity when we looking at Mercury entering into Gemini, your sign, okay? This your energy. Your mind is going to be sharp right now. You're sensing everything. You're picking up on everything, and you're being pushed to acknowledge what you know. No more going back and forth. Okay, no more juggling what you already have the clarity on, Gemini. Okay, so I would say this Ten of Cups is showing me that what could be, but also what's not fully aligned right now, because real happiness doesn't require juggling, questioning, or second guessing what you're seeing. And Gemini, you see it. All right, so let's go ahead and clarify this King of Cups here, because I think that's important. Okay, and then we'll clarify the overall message. I'll drop the oracle and send you on your way. All right, so Spirit, tap into the King of Cups for Gemini. Why is this here? Okay, King of Cups, clarify, Spirit, Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. I'm sorry, y'all. I got 3 systems going at the same time. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Multitasking here. King of Cups, clarify, Spirit. That is clarified by the Magician. That's your major arcana, Gemini. Okay, the Magician, Queen of Cups, the counterpart to the King of Cups, and Ten of Wands. And damn, death at the bottom of the deck with Judgment again. Okay, so we're clarifying the King of Cups. We've done so with the Magician, the Queen of Cups, or the Ten of Wands. Okay. So, what I'm seeing here, Gemini, okay. Oh, my nose, my nose, my nose. You got the Magician here, okay. First off, King of Cups energy, okay. That's emotional maturity. This is someone who feels deeply but doesn't always show everything on the surface with the King of Cups, all right. This is someone, I would say, when we clarify it with the Magician, this your energy, Gemini. This is manifestation, communication, influence, you know. So the emotions and the communication are directly tied here, okay? Somebody knows how to say the right things. They know how to create a certain emotional experience, okay? And then we got you, the Queen of Cups. We have a counterpart here, King and Queen of Cups, and this is a deep emotional connection. This is a bond that feels real, nurturing, intuitive, okay? Like there's a genuine love or an emotional understanding between you two here, all right? And then we get hit with the Ten of Wands. So even though the connection is real, it's heavy, it's draining, it's a burden. Somebody is carrying too much. Somebody is overwhelmed, trying to hold all this together, okay? And with the death and the judgment at the bottom of the deck here, Gemini, this is not something that can stay the same. Death is transformation, an ending that leads to a new beginning. Judgment is the final call. So this connection here, whatever this is, it's at a crossroads. Either it transforms completely or it ends. Okay? So there is no in between no more. All right? So kind of looking at this entire spread here, this kind of brings everything full circle because the passion, the inconsistency, the attachment, the truth coming out, the emotional weight, okay? Gemini, you've been dealing with something that had potential, but also came with some cycles, some confusion, and some heaviness. And now you're being asked to see it clearly, feel it fully, okay? And make a decision that aligns with your growth, because you can manifest something real with the magician here, all right? Because you can manage that. I hope you manifest that. I hope you know that with the magician here, all right? Really, I hope that you know that, because at the end of the day, you're being asked to really make a decision, okay, that aligns with your growth, okay? Now, as far as manifestation, you can't do that while you're carrying something that's already shown you it's too much. All right? So really take heed in that, Gemini, because this is serious. All right? Now, Gemini, take what resonates. If this is your story, you already know what this is pointing to. What are you going to do about it? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and seal it with the Sacred Forest Oracle message. Okay. What is the Sacred Forest Oracle message for Gemini regarding this particular energy read, Spirit? Tap into the energy for Gemini. What Oracle message does Gemini need to know, and the numerology behind it? Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so Gemini, we have the Toadstool's Growth, number 44, okay? Pretty interesting, because at the bottom of the deck, okay, let's see here, I will tell you at the bottom of the deck, we got the Standing Stones Passage card 40. Okay, so 444 could be significant for you. This new moon in Taurus equated to a 22, broke down to a 4. I think this full moon in Sagittarius coming up, or it's going to be hitting a few planets at 4 degrees. So 4 is significant here, Gemini. Okay, so as it relates to your main oracle message, Toadstool, okay? Now, I would say you're being pushed to recognize what's real, okay? Definitely. This is about, this is powerful because this is about growth that doesn't always look pretty. Toadstools, they grow in the dark, okay? They grow in the dark. In addition to that, they live in damp environments, okay? They grow through what most people would overlook or even avoid. So Gemini, this right here is telling you that everything that you've been going through, the confusion, the emotional weight, the cycles, it's all been part of your growth process. It's not bad luck or you've been punished by the universe. This is growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Okay, if you don't feel none, you ain't growing. If you're growing, then you know, and if you feel uncomfortable, then you know you're growing. Okay, now the 4 is about stability, structure, foundation. But when you have 4-4, this is master builder energy. This is you being called to build something solid in your life, but it's going to require discipline, awareness, and making the right choices. Okay, you cannot build something stable on something that's inconsistent. And that's been the message this entire reading, okay? Now, when we look at the bottom of that deck and we have the standing stones, which is passage here, that is powerful too, because you're looking at 44 for that and 40 for this. That's heavy on the 4, okay? Some of you may be seeing that 444, like I said, and if you are, pay attention. Okay, pay attention. 4 is all about foundation, stability, structure, but also realignment. And when you combine this with the new moon in Taurus, which also created that grounded building energy, this is that confirmation that you are in a period of restructuring your life, Gemini. Now, with this particular card here, this is not just growth, this is transition. You see the passage. So you're moving from one phase of your life into another. But the thing about a passage is you can't take everything with you. Some things have to be left behind. Okay, so are you going to save you or are you going to try to save somebody else? Okay, and that's exactly what we saw in the cards. Attachment, cycles, emotional weight, truth coming out. So Gemini, you are being guided to move forward, but only with what is solid, aligned, and real. Everything else is part of what you've been outgrowing. Okay, so with this strong energy 4 showing up repeatedly, it's not about rushing. This is about building correctly. Okay, and even with this upcoming Sagittarius full moon kind of activating key degrees, it's going to be able to illuminate where things are either stable or where they kind of been shaken all along. So don't ignore what is being shown to you. All right, so Gemini, you're not stuck. You're in transition. And how you move right now is going to really determine what you're able to build next. Okay, so I hope this resonates. Take what does, leave what doesn't, and I'll see you in the next drop. Deuces.